The short days in Greece have given me countless unforgettable experiences. One of them is the wild boar hunting trip in the Erymanthus Mountains in the freezing winter. Here, natural predators are becoming increasingly rare, causing the wild boar population to grow uncontrollably. I, along with a few friends, set out on this hunting trip. From this experience, I understood why the Greeks still keep the tradition of wild boar hunting as an integral part of local life. After a simple breakfast, we sat in a familiar vehicle and headed towards the Erymanthus Mountains in western Peloponnese. It was the wild boar mating season, so they were moving around more, providing favorable conditions for hunting. Thanks to the snow, we could easily track the boars' whereabouts. I closely followed their tracks, moving quickly as a feeling told me the prey was very near. And sure enough, a dark shape came rushing down from the opposite mountain slope. I fired in time, one clean shot. The boar fell and slid down the slope. However, I moved closer and fired another shot because, in the forest, certainty is always the most reliable companion. Not far from me, Gilbert was also in position, continuously firing when a whole herd of wild boars appeared unexpectedly. However, the boars weren't easy to handle. They ran like the wind, weaving through thick tree trunks in a maze-like manner. Even though Gilbert tried to stay close, it was really difficult to aim under these conditions, and in the blink of an eye, the entire herd vanished from sight as quickly as they had appeared. After about half an hour of moving, we had reached near the summit of the mountain. While still on the move, Gilbert and I noticed unusual movements from the trees beside us. Hunting instinct urged me to immediately raise my rifle and squeeze the trigger before the wild boar disappeared into the brush. And with just one shot, the target was neatly taken down. A quick, efficient shot, just the way I like it. Upon reaching the mountaintop, the air became even colder, and the snow beneath our feet grew thicker, but the sound of barking dogs echoed like a reminder that we couldn't stop. In the blink of an eye, a dark figure suddenly appeared. Gilbert steadied his rifle and fired a decisive shot. With the close distance, this time the boar couldn't escape. The race with the wild boars became more intense than ever before. Seizing every moment and every opportunity, we continued our hunt that afternoon. The hounds remained by our side, helping the team locate new targets. The snowstorm thickened, and we had to move down for safety. We set up a temporary small tent, and I sat waiting for my teammates to return. While sitting alone in the silence, the sound of the hounds and gunshots from afar woke me up to immediately raise my rifle. I aimed and fired decisively. The boar collapsed in the midst of the heavy snowfall. I had completed an unexpected hunt. The rain stopped, and under the gloomy sky, I still pressed on, looking for the last targets of the day. Hiding behind some wild branches, I silently observed the wild boar's movements. Waiting for it to reach the right position, I gently raised my rifle and took a decisive shot to end the chase. After the shot rang out, the wild boar fell, marking the end of this challenging hunting trip. The challenges we faced throughout the journey were not only about hunting, but also lessons in patience and determination. Thank you for joining us on this trip. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel.
people of Lorraine, northeastern France, are all too familiar with the sight of wild boars being hunted. For them, wild boars are not ordinary wild animals. They are agricultural destroyers and carriers of dangerous diseases for livestock. Today, we, the people with the mission of controlling wild boars, carried out a large-scale sweep in the Darney Forest and exterminated a large number of harmful wild boars. In the vast forest, we split into small groups to patrol the wild boar tracks. While moving slowly, my friend Daniel stopped and whispered, "It seems like they are coming." Just a few seconds later, a herd of wild boars appeared just a few meters away from us. I quickly raised my gun and fired at the herd of wild boars. The sound of the gunshots seemed to tear the quiet atmosphere apart. Everything happened so quickly that I didn't know how many shots I fired. When the gunfire stopped, we saw several wild boars had been killed, including a very large one. Daniel guessed that it must have weighed more than 100 kilograms. Wild boars usually live in herds of up to dozens. Looking at such a large herd of wild boars, we were both excited and nervous. The shots rang out like thunder. The wild boars that were hit lay down. The others tried to run away from the danger zone. Facing such a large herd of wild boars, it was difficult for us to accurately aim at each one. But with continuous shots, we were still able to kill more wild boars. In these vast hunting grounds, we could not do without the companionship of brave hunting dogs. Their task was to track the prey and chase it until it was exhausted. We often let the dogs roam freely in the forest, but we still had to listen for sounds to detect their location. There's a dog barking nearby. "Come on, buddy," Daniel said, walking quickly ahead, with us following closely behind him. "Oh my God, a giant wild boar," he exclaimed. The wild boar seemed to be exhausted, but it still aggressively tried to attack us. But I shot it down immediately. The sweep was scheduled to last a day. We took a short lunch break and then resumed the search. The dogs seemed tireless as they chased the boar back in our direction. Oh, it was a very large adult wild boar. It ran past us and was shot down by Daniel. Hit by a bullet, the wild boar rolled down the mountainside, and my other two teammates helped pull it up. With such a large body, it must have invaded the farmer's farm many times. By the afternoon, we did not encounter any other large herds of wild boar, only individual pigs moving about. Perhaps the gunfire in the morning caused them to disperse or move to other areas. Although we did not encounter large herds of wild boars, we still managed to kill a few wild boars if they strayed. Indeed, we do not always successfully kill a wild boar with just one shot. This requires a lot of skill and experience because wild boars are very fast. Aiming at the right position is not easy. Partly, it also depends on the equipment such as the scope and the type of gun you use. In the late afternoon, we gradually moved towards the assembly area. We discovered a herd of wild boars busy foraging in an empty area. Immediately, the whole team fell silent and held their guns, preparing to kill the wild boars. We aimed at the biggest wild boar. After a bang, the wild boar fell down. We were quite surprised that the spoils of the day were so big. We collect wild boar and gather it at the final location. People with experience in handling wild boar meat will process it, and we will enjoy delicious grilled wild boar meat with a glass of premium vodka. Our journey is over. Thank you all for following. Please like and subscribe to receive the latest notifications.
When the first leaves begin to turn gold across the forests of Turkey, hunting season officially kicks off. In the cool, breezy autumn weather, much milder than the sweltering summer, wild boars often gather in groups and head out in search of food. That makes it the perfect time for hunters like us to track them more easily. Now, let's dive straight into a thrilling, intense, and emotionally charged hunting expedition together. As the sun dipped low on the horizon, our team hit the road in our familiar hunting truck, heading toward the forest. The moment we arrived, everyone got into position without hesitation. I focused all my attention on every subtle sound and movement. There it was, the target had emerged. The wild boars sensed danger and bolted, but a well-placed shot from the dropped one of them just in time. Still in the same ambush position, I was presented with another chance to take the shot. This time, a boar charged head-on toward me. Before it could veer away, I pulled the trigger. The animal had no chance of escaping. The hunting dogs were doing an excellent job. They had locked onto another boar. But at nearly 30 kilometers each, the animal scuttled away and escaped, leaving us frustrated and disappointed. We continued scouting the area, and suddenly, without warning, a new target appeared. I didn't hesitate, immediately got into shooting stance and squeezed the trigger. The first shot missed, and the entire group of boars scattered in panic. A rapid follow-up volley eventually brought one down, motionless on the ground. I headed into the forest pool with a few friends and our pack of hunting dogs. Under pressure from the dogs, the wild boars were forced out of hiding. I was ready. One emerged, then another, and then an entire group came into view. Without letting up, I aimed and kept firing. After a barrage of bullets, a number of them lay lifeless in the dense forest. On the other side of the forest, my friends had also taken position and waited patiently. 5 tense minutes passed in silence. Then finally, the prey appeared. But these animals were clever, weaving through the trees to avoid detection. Still, with sharp instincts and skill, Harry swiftly took one down. Less than 5 minutes later, a few more wild boars emerged, catching us off guard. Quick and agile, they zigzagged through the trees. Harry, keeping steady aim, took careful shots. Eventually, one from the group fell in the heart of the woods. I quietly moved deeper into the forest, gun ready in hand, waiting for any suspicious sign. And there it was. My goodness, not just one, but dozens of boars charged in our direction. I didn't hesitate. I quickly raised my rifle, locked onto a lone stalk, and fired decisively. The boar collapsed instantly. The rest scattered quickly. We gave chase. All of us kept reloading and firing, managing to take down The rustling of leaves nearby put me on high alert. Just as I raised my weapon, a wild boar burst out and darted right past me. I fired without hesitation. The first bullet missed, but the second hit its mark, dropping the beast within seconds. The deep forest, always a reliable refuge for wild boars, had once again hidden my next target. After some tracking, I finally spotted one emerging from the edge of the woods. I quickly raised my rifle and fired the moment it charged out. One single, clean, and precise shot was enough to bring it down. And just like that, today's hunt comes to a close. What did you think of this journey? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to catch more adrenaline-filled hunts coming your way. I came back to visit my grandmother in the peaceful countryside, just hoping to rest a few days after a long stretch of exhausting work. But that night, chaos erupted. Wild boars had attacked a nearby farm, keeping the entire village up until dawn. I couldn't sleep either. I lay there, wide awake, with my late grandfather's old hunting rifle beside me. And just as the sky began to brighten, I joined the village's hunting crew to track down the culprits who brought such destruction. Our destination was Santa Monica Mountain in California, about 20 minutes away. Once in position, I waited patiently. Suddenly, a short call from a teammate rang out. Targets approaching. There it was, a massive wild boar right in front of me. Immediately, the entire team opened fire. Bullets thundered across the forested hills, but the boar went berserk, speeding up instead of slowing down. It was truly incredible. After all those shots, it skillfully weaved through the trees and vanished into the mist. The chase only ended when Ralph, the team's most seasoned marksman, fired a critical volley. The boar stumbled and crashed into a bush. We thought it was over, but it rose again, refusing to give up. Only Ralph's final bullet, which struck its weak spot, finally brought it down for good, ending a tense, exhausting pursuit in a cloud of dust. It was a hard-fought hunt, but the result was well worth the effort. Our hunting dogs joined the action. In just a few minutes, they had sniffed out another target. A chunky black shape darted into hiding behind some thick bushes, desperately trying to shake off the dogs. We quickly chose our angles. I picked the biggest one and took the shot. The bullet tore through the air and struck a vital point. Success! Our target lay motionless on the ground. Through the binoculars, we spotted another large pack of wild boars on the move. Ralph and I opened fire, but the range was too far. Our bullets zipped past harmlessly. The boar seized the chance and bolted up the mountain. We didn't give up and quickly pursued them. Not long after, we heard our dogs barking again, this time more intensely. I crept closer with my rifle ready for anything. Suddenly, a boar lunged from a bush beside me. I immediately pulled the trigger multiple times. The dogs barked again, louder and more urgent than usual. Ralph and I hurried over, tension building. Sure enough, the dogs had cornered a wild boar. It looked injured and no longer aggressive. Ralph moved in, raised his rifle, and with a single precise shot, the animal was down. Another swift and clean takedown. From the neighboring mountain, the sound of gunfire echoed nonstop. Our teammates were locked in fierce pursuit. One wild boar, after an exhausting chase, was brought down with a sharp, decisive shot. None were given a chance to escape. We had hunters posted all around, determined to eliminate as many as possible. I was assigned to climb to the summit to support Chad, but when I arrived, he'd already found his target, a large adult boar with a scruffy coat. It tried to hide behind a tree, but against the hunter with over a decade of experience, no chance. Chad didn't hesitate. One clean shot was all it took to neutralize the threat. From the mountaintop, I aimed my scope down the slope. A few wild boars were dashing downhill at full speed. This time, I couldn't miss. In a flash, I raised my rifle, locked onto one in the group, and fired. This marked the end of our daytime hunt. We headed back, gearing up for the challenging night hunt ahead. That's a wrap for today's hunting adventure. Thanks for joining us on this thrilling journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. A lush green orchard, where ripe, juicy fruits should be swaying peacefully in the wind, is now facing a serious threat. These intruders not only destroy trees, but also ruin the hard work of farmers. Today, our hunting team is here with a single mission: eliminate these invaders. Will the wild boars manage to escape this time? Stay tuned until the end of the video to witness intense chases and precise shots. Wild boars are silent but highly destructive threats to agriculture. With their growing numbers, rice fields, cornfields, and thriving fruit orchards can turn into wastelands overnight due to their rampages. The damage reaches millions of dollars each year, leaving many farmers in distress. Our team, experienced and skilled hunters, is ready to step into battle. After a long journey through dense forests and vast fields, our hunting team arrives in Cheshire. Without wasting a second, we step out of the vehicle, strategize, and prepare for the hunt. With thick foliage obstructing visibility, tracking the boars seems nearly impossible, but we have the advantage. Our flying camera scans the entire area, pinpointing their exact location. Once we detect their movements, the team quickly forms a tight perimeter, leaving no escape routes. Gunshots pierce the air, each shot accurate to the millimeter. The boars panic, fleeing desperately, but there is no escaping the Reaper's scythe. Smoke and dust engulf the orchard as their frantic grunts fade into silence, leaving only their massive bodies struggling in vain. A thrilling, powerful hunt, and we are the undisputed masters of this battlefield. A A few terrified boars bolt toward the vast cornfield, seeking refuge. But the hunt is far from over. We won't let a single one escape. As the sun dips behind the mountains, I persistently track their trail, determined to claim one more victory before nightfall. And then, luck smiles upon me. Hidden among the dense cornstalks, a wild boar moves swiftly toward the trail. Without hesitation, I fire, but the bullet narrowly misses, sending it sprinting like an arrow. I'm certain it will come this way. And just as I predicted, a massive shadow appears. This time, there's no escape. The hunt is over, and the intruder is down. The next morning, as the soft golden light of dawn blankets the orchard, we set out once more with our hunting dogs, determined to track down the remaining wild boars. The crisp air and clear visibility make for perfect hunting conditions. We don't have to wait long. Our targets emerge almost immediately, panic-stricken, sprinting at breakneck speeds. But we are prepared. With precise aim and steady hands, each shot rings out decisively, bringing them down in an instant. Gunpowder lingers in the air as the last echoes of gunfire fade, a triumphant conclusion to a spectacular hunt. I remain patient, hidden, waiting for the perfect moment. Finally, the wild boar appears. The first shot rings out, striking it hard. Staggering, wounded, it struggles forward, clinging desperately to life. The hunting dogs are already in position, ready to end the chase. Gluttonous and destructive, wild boars always target fruit-laden orchards and vast fields of crops. They see these lands as paradise, but today, this place will become their nightmare. We have tracked them relentlessly, following their every move, closing in on all possible escape routes. The herd scatters in desperation, each one falling, one by one. Some recklessly dive into thick bushes, hoping to find refuge, but all in vain. After an intense and thrilling hunt, we have successfully eliminated the orchard's greatest menace. But the battle isn't over. More herds lurk in the shadows, waiting for their chance to strike. Our mission continues, to protect the farms and the people from this ongoing threat. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to join us on our next hunt.